Hey there, it's Lukazi. Thanks for joining me again for another strategy session. Here we have the Baneling drop. As you can see, 16 Marines, 6 Marauders, and a few Medivacs here are pushing on a Zerg player's expansion. And here we have the Zerg player perfectly executing a Baneling drop. As you see, he drops them straight down the line of Marines. It would be better if they're clumped up a bit more. But at the same time, he waited for the Terran player's army to be engaged with the hatchery before dropping, so his Overlord wasn't focus fired as the only moving target by the base AI of the Marines. Here he had a good drop down the line. It'd be better if it was in a ball, but you take what you can get. Now this is a really good way to help counter the MMN ball that so many players do, as it's so effective against a wide variety of units. You can either burrow your Banelings, you can drop your Banelings, or you can try and surround and get your Banelings in there to deal the most damage to these types of this strategy, this bio ball strategy of the Terran players. I prefer to burrow, but this player uses the drop. It's also really good to use the drop in conjunction with, you have your roaches and your hydralisks attack from the front, so they get, all of his units get engaged in combat, and as they start to deal damage and kind of cut through your roaches, you fly some overlords in, all of whom are packed with banelings, and because the units are going to be attacking the units attacking them, they're not going to prioritize targeting, so the other player will have to manually target each of the overlords as they come close, and then as you fly over, you just let them unload on top of the units. And this is also really good for siege tanks too. Fly a bunch of overlords in, drop them on top of the siege tanks, blow it up, then sweep in with your army. But this is a really effective strategy against bioballs or just any large ground force, and it doesn't rely on keeping units burrowed, which could be detected if he brings with a Raven with his army, or if he scan sweeps just to see what's kind of near your expansion and you kept them a little bit too close, he would be able to see those, and that could definitely not work in your favor. This strategy is a little bit more foolproof. You kind of just rush your overlords in, drop the banelings, and profit. Now the problem here is you're going to get some supply issues if you do this a lot throughout a game, but overlords really aren't that expensive, only 100, and they can carry 4 banelings each, so you can deal a pretty good amount of damage. That right there was 4 banelings, and it killed 6 marines in that short period of time, and imagine if it had been much more clumped up, like if they were in a giant ball kind of barely spreading out to fight roaches and hydras in the scenario I described earlier. Really effective strategy, this baneling drop.